Hello 9th class students. Today we will start a new chapter in science, that is chapter number 14, natural resources. In this video students, we will learn so many new things that which are the main factors that are responsible on the earth for existence of the life. So students, before discussing about the natural resources and their main types, first of all let's see why the life exists on the earth. As you have studied in the lower classes that there are 8 planets in our solar system. Among that 8 planets, only earth is the planet where the life exists. So students, in order to existence of the life, there are so many factors which have to coordinate with each other for the existence of the life. Let's see them, which are the main factors. First of all, what are the main factors that constitute our biosphere? Biosphere, that means the place where the life exists. So if you see around us, then you see the main 3 factors. One is air, second is water, and third is land, or we can say soil. Air, water and soil, these are the major 3 factors which constitute our biosphere, the place where life exists. In terms of science students, the part of the earth on which the air is present, we call it atmosphere. You have studied in lower class also. Atmosphere. See here, sphere. Atmosphere. Second thing, the place where the water is present on the earth. That portion of the earth is known as the hydrosphere. Hydro, that means water, and sphere, that means the place where it present. So we call it hydrosphere. Hydro, the verbal meaning of the hydro is, students, water. And the third factor, that is land or soil, the portion on the earth where the land is present, is called lithosphere. So students, these 3, atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, when these 3 present in the coordination manner, then they collectively constitute a large area, or we can say whole of our earth. And the whole of the earth where these 3 are present is commonly known as the biosphere. Biosphere, bio, that means life. The sphere where the life is present is called biosphere. Now students, these 3 are the main constituent of the life, but not only these 3, but there are some sub factors which also supports the life. For example, the temperature. If the temperature is too high, even then the life will not possible, and if it is too low, even then it is not life is not possible. So you have studied that the distance of the earth from the sun in our solar system is this much appropriate distance, which is neither too hot or nor too cool, because the amount of the sun rays received by the earth is exactly appropriate to maintain the temperature, which is exactly sufficient for the existence of the life. This temperature supports the life. Now students, we will discuss them one by one, that which are their different parts and how they supports the life. So students, first of all we will see the air or the atmosphere. Students, in lower classes you have studied that air is not a single gas but it constituent of the different gases. Among these different gases or the constituent of the air, the major constituent of the air that is present is nitrogen. Second gas that is present is oxygen, and third one is carbon dioxide, or we can say it CO2. Now their constituent is the constituent of the nitrogen is near about 78%, that of the oxygen is 21%, and that of the CO2 is near about 0.03%, and rest of the 0.07% are constituent by the other gases, that space is occupied by the other gases like argon, neon, krypton, etc. Now students, we see that nitrogen is the major constituent of the air, but this nitrogen do not support the life. Actually not the nitrogen but the oxygen is called life supporting gas. You know that oxygen is needed by the living organisms in large quantity. Now what is the reason why oxygen is needed by the living organisms, or in the which processes are there in which the oxygen is needed by the living organisms or the living being? So students, there are two ways in which the living organisms or human being consume the oxygen and convert it into carbon dioxide or other its compounds. Let's see. Oxygen is first of all used in the process of respiration, that you have learned that we intake the oxygen and give out the carbon dioxide. So that process in which our body utilize the oxygen, oxidize the food that we intake and produces carbon dioxide which we exhale out in the environment, that process is known as respiration. So the first use of the oxygen is respiration. Now what can be the second use? In the second use, students, you have studied that anything that burns, if you want to burn anything, then it requires oxygen. Oxygen is the very important gas in order to support the combustion. So oxygen supports the combustion. Nothing can burn without the presence of oxygen, and in combustion oxygen also get converted into carbon dioxide. So the second process is combustion. These are the two processes in which the oxygen is utilized and oxygen is get converted into carbon dioxide. Now students, it is obvious that each and every living thing respire, it perform the process of respiration, intake the oxygen and give out the carbon dioxide, so that the percentage of the carbon dioxide should increase in the atmosphere. It should be very high, but it is not so. The reason behind this factor is that if the living organisms convert the oxygen into carbon dioxide, then the other living things called autotrophs or the green plants simultaneously converts the carbon dioxide into oxygen also. There are some other aquatic animals who also converts the carbonates into some stable compounds or the other compounds. Let's see. These are the two processes in which oxygen get converted into carbon dioxide. Now let's see which are the main processes that converts the carbon dioxide into oxygen. Let's see that two processes in which the carbon dioxide again get converted into either oxygen or in the form of other compounds of the carbon dioxide. The first thing is photosynthesis. Yes, students, you have studied about the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in the green plants by which they makes their own food. But do you know, students, what exactly process takes place in the photosynthesis? In photosynthesis, students, the plant utilize carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide they absorb from the atmosphere through their leaves, and the water that they absorb through their roots. That carbon dioxide and water utilize to form the glucose and oxygen. Oxygen is released. Actually, oxygen is not formed, but it releases. Let's see the simple reaction in the form of which this reaction takes place. First of all, the plants intake CO2 from the atmosphere, then they absorb the water from the soil through their roots, and then they form the first of all glucose C6H12O6, and they also release the oxygen. Now student, if we balance this reaction, then 6 molecule of the carbon dioxide and 6 molecule of the water produces 1 molecule of the glucose and 6 molecule of the oxygen. This is the first method, and you can imagine, students, how many green plants are there on the earth, and all these green plants converts the carbon dioxide into oxygen during the daytime, because in the night time there is no sunlight. Here students, it is very important to have sunlight, and this sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll. So during the daytime, when the sunlight is present in sufficient amount, then the plants perform photosynthesis. But remember, during the night time, when there is no sunlight or no other light, then plants also perform respiration, and they also converts the oxygen into carbon dioxide. During the night time or during the process of respiration, plants also give out carbon dioxide just like we do. But in the daytime, they also perform photosynthesis along with the respiration. The process of respiration is also takes place in the daytime, but the carbon dioxide produced in that respiration is utilized by plant itself in order to perform the photosynthesis, and rest of the carbon dioxide plant also absorb from the environment. Students, there is also a second method in which the living organisms converts the carbon dioxide into their other compounds, and that process takes place inside the sea, where many aquatic living organisms use carbonates to form their body shells, just like the sea. So second is aquatic living organisms converts carbonates into other compounds. So students, these are the two ways in which carbon dioxide is also get converted into oxygen or the other compounds, and in the previous we have seen earlier that there are two methods by which oxygen is converted into carbon dioxide. So students, in this way nature always balances the carbon dioxide and oxygen. There are reasons, students, for not having the life on other planets, because other planets do not have oxygen percentage as much high as there on the Earth atmosphere. Just like Mars and Venus, they have near about 95 to 97% of the carbon dioxide in their environment. Planet, if you talk about the planet Mars and Venus, then they have near about 95% to 97% of the carbon dioxide in their atmosphere. And if we compare it to our Earth's atmosphere, then Earth's atmosphere have only 0.03%. Students, the carbon dioxide gas is also a greenhouse gas. Remember, greenhouse gas. We will discuss it in detail in this chapter, the process of greenhouse. But for now, for instance, you have to remember that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for increasing the temperature of the Earth's surface. And if the temperature of the Earth's surface increases too high, then it will not possible for the living organisms to survive on it. Now students, the atmosphere also responsible for controlling the climate of the Earth. First of all, see the position of the atmosphere, where the atmosphere is present on the Earth. So students, if we see, if we draw the diagram of the Earth, then if this is our Earth, then the air that surrounds the Earth up to some extent, near about this extent. The air is present up to certain height above the Earth's surface, and that presence, that area of the atmosphere or the area covered by the air, that area is called atmosphere. The atmosphere is not uniform throughout the height, but it shows degradation in the density of the gases at different levels. So our atmosphere also have different parts. Actually students, the height of this atmosphere from the Earth's surface is nearly 10,100 kilometer height. This height is of 10,000 kilometer in height, and it is divided into different forms, different layers. Let's see which are the different layer, which one is coldest and which one is hottest layer in the atmosphere. If we talk about the layer just above the Earth's surface that touches the Earth's surface, that layer is known as stratosphere. The name of the layer is, we will write them according to their distances. Here this one is troposphere. Troposphere is the layer which is just in contact with the Earth's surface, and it is near about 8 to 14 kilometer height. All the planes that fly in the air, they fly in troposphere only, not above the troposphere. It has the highest density, and this is the coldest layer in the among all the layer of the atmosphere, because it is far away from the sun. When sunlight comes on the Earth's surface, then it first touches the highest layer, then the lowest, and then in the end it touches the troposphere. So students, this is the coolest layer of the atmosphere. Second layer that present above the troposphere is stratosphere. stratosphere is present above the troposphere, and the third layer above the stratosphere is mesosphere. Mesosphere, and above the mesosphere, fourth layer, that is thermosphere, is present. So these are the four major divisions of the atmosphere of the earth, but the thermosphere is again divided into two parts. One is ionosphere and the last one is exosphere. Actually students, exosphere is not the part of our atmosphere, but it is the region above the ionosphere or above our environment, or we can say that our atmosphere. The infinite area out from the atmosphere is the exosphere, and rest of these are the main major parts that are divided, the parts in which our atmosphere is divided. Let's revise at once. First is troposphere, that is in contact with the earth's surface, then stratosphere which is above the troposphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere, and thermosphere is divided, the topmost layer of the thermosphere, in which the gases are present in the form of the ions. The ionized gases are there, the charged particle of the gases or charged atom of the gases are present in that part of the atmosphere, that is called ionosphere. The name of this is ionosphere, and the area above the ionosphere is exosphere. So this is the detail of the atmosphere that is present on the earth's surface.